Hi, my name is Matt Wiswesser, TACFIT team leader, certified athletic trainer, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and instructor from Rochelle Park, New Jersey. Born and raised, proud New Jerseyan. What was it like growing up in New Jersey? It's interesting. So I'm the youngest of 4 boys, and so our family dynamic is very interesting. Lots of sports, lots of rough housing, and tormenting my parents with all of that. It was chaos, but it was extremely fun chaos the entire time. My mom was the law. She has a heavy hand, and you don't need to find out too many times how bad that hurts. So you would hear like my dad yell out, "Alice, the boys," and you'd hear my mom come stomping down from upstairs or wherever she was, and everyone would scatter because you knew that if she got a hold of you, it was not going to end well. Seeing the strength that my mom could hold over all 5 of us boys, because I'll group my dad into that, because he was, part of the antics along with it, kind of grew me into who I am today. So growing up, my parents were big on get outside. My mom would lock the door and you're not coming in until dinner type of family. So always was this 3-sport athlete. So growing up in New Jersey, it's soccer, basketball, and baseball. Have always been involved with sports, and now it's my career. So it's all encompassing. How was I first introduced to TACFIT? I was dating a girl at a time. We're gonna go on family vacation down in Virginia. She's telling me about her crazy cousin who's a fitness freak, pushing Jeeps and flipping tires, and he's probably gonna want me to work out with him. So me being 23 at the time was just like, I've done a couple push-ups, I jog every so often. I'm not worried about some 42, 43-year-old. I'm like half his age, like it'll be a joke, don't worry about it. I might have met Scott the night before, and he's just like, all right, we're gonna work out 6 a.m. No problem, I got you. I'll see you bright and early. He was beta testing the Kettlebell Spetsnaz program. Normally you would only do one 20-minute workout, but we ended up doing the 3 progressions of it. So we did a 60-minute workout, and I think it was 55 or 56 minutes. And I was like, I need to throw up. I'm gonna stop now because this is ridiculous. And he kept going. He finished the last 4 or 5 rounds. So my 3 biggest lessons that I've learned from Scott. The first one that stands out the most is own your shit. He always talks to me about don't talk out of your wheelhouse. So whatever knowledge you do have, be confident in knowing that knowledge. But he goes, don't be afraid to admit when you don't know something. The second one would be to detach from work and be able to pull yourself out of the grind and appreciate the time with who's around you and do whatever makes you happy. Going into cert, I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't tell him who I was, my relationship with Scott. I didn't come in with Scott because I didn't want people to say you passed because your family members with Scott Sonnon. So I was just like, well, I need to own my shit. At the end, we're going over all the scores, and I just saw, like, as Scott's writing it on the board, this shit-eating grin and he just looked back at me, like, kind of gave me like a side eye. And at that point, like, it was just that approval that, like, you crushed it. Like, total awesome feeling that I got his approval of you owned it and did it. One of the most difficult challenges that I faced, even within the last few years, has been my ex-wife, who I dated for 10 years, who introduced me to Scott, who I was a large part of their family. I would spend weekends up at her parents' house, and we dated for 10 years, ended up getting married. After 6 months, we got divorced. Leading up to me knowing that I didn't want to be in the relationship and wanted to get a divorce, one of the things that kept me involved in the marriage was my relationship with Scott and how that would change. Scott's been one of the biggest impacts on my life, and I'm here doing what I'm doing today because of him and his belief in me. So knowing that that could all come up, like, not be a thing anymore because of a decision that, like, I needed to make, definitely weighed a lot on me. If Scott's family didn't approve of me being around him, then I can't be part of this community. And this community means a lot to me. This is part of who I am. So now you take that away, it's a huge chunk of my life taken out. So it took me probably a month or 2 months to text Scott and just be like, hey, I think I'm gonna divorce, my wife. And he called me and he said, we're family. Whatever you do, you do. Knowing that he was there through thick or thin and the family aspect didn't matter was kind of the cool part about it and what I appreciated most. Once I knew that Scott had my back, I was just like, the rest of it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. And I started making decisions for myself and realized that this is what I want to do. So I don't care what anyone has to say about it. If I want to go train jiu-jitsu, all day long, I'm going to go train jiu-jitsu all day long. If I want to fly out to California for a weekend to film a workout series, you better believe my ticket was booked right that day. That's self-love, is doing things for myself that I enjoy doing. I haven't met someone that doesn't thrive in TACFIT. I've had buddies of mine who work in professional baseball, NHL. I've given them hip mobility drills. Their catchers and hockey players love it. My mom comes home from work and she calls me. She's like, hey, I got my neck's bothering me. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do some neck mobility drills. Someone always takes something away from it. So yeah, I do believe TACFIT is for everyone. Mobility training, decompression, it's not a glamorous activity to do, but when you actually look at numbers, when I implemented TACFIT for one summer, our injuries dropped 30 to 88%, depending on the body part. So the workouts of training TACFIT make me better as a professional athletic trainer. So you see stuff like that and you're just like, this is why I'm doing it. It's because of the people that I come into contact every day that benefit from it. If the idea of doing something doesn't fill you with joy, then that is not what you should be doing. When it's time to grind, remember that why you're doing it and remember that you love doing it and just keep going.